All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell. All right, been a while since I've done one of these, but haven't been quite feeling great, but I felt a little bit better today and got a lot on my mind. So wanted to talk, first of all, in fact, maybe only of all, I want to talk about the NFL. I still want to talk about the NFL. National Football League has got to be the most racist place on earth. I mean, really, it really does. Um, just all kinds of stuff. And I used to be a real hardcore football fan. I used to love watching all the games and doing all that and everything and going to games and everything, so all over the years, I've constantly, loved the NFL. I remember watching my first game, the Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings, and my dad talking about the purple people eaters and all this, all this stuff and all the little nicknames and things that went along with the teams back then. And now, I'm that daddy figure, and I really don't want to take my son and sit him on the couch and say, look at this or whatever. I have one son, however, that loves football and is playing football, and he loves playing and he loves the game. So, I don't discourage him or say anything about that at all. But here's the deal. They got to do better. The whole thing with John Gruden and all the stuff that's going down now is really crazy, the Colin Kaepernick thing, and then, coming back through all the different things. And then somebody posted, one of my friends who's from Baltimore posted this stuff about when, I don't know if y'all remember, probably not a lot of y'all are old enough to remember when, Baltimore just packed up the moving van and moved the Colts out of Baltimore and moved them to Indianapolis, right? And so now the Ravens are back there or whatever, and it's still like there's still no security. They could move out any day, just like the Raiders are now in Los Angeles, and I mean they were the only thing that people in the Bay Area, Oakland, the Oakland people. That's what when I say that was their team. And they supported that team. I mean, they were fanatics. When you think of fanatics, you can't think of anybody but the Raiders. Raiders was like the fanatical team that was out there. So anyway, so there's just so much stuff to that, and the bottom line is that every time we still go back out and we support them, the cognitive dissonance is absolutely crazy when it comes to sports and all that kind of stuff. We can't let go, and it's like kind of really kind of a weird thing why we can't let go of this. And the fact of the matter is, it's the only major professional sport. The only major professional sport that still does not have a black owner, and still does not, now the Major League Baseball does not have a majority owner, but they do have some minority owners that are black. Of course, now Michael Jordan owns the Charlotte Hornets franchise in the NBA. And the NBA has always been on the forefront. I will say that the NBA has always been on the forefront of like at least trying. They make an effort. I'm not saying that they're perfect or anything like that, but the one thing is for certain is that they do make an effort. And so I appreciate them making an effort. But National Football League has never ever made an effort to try to do anything about anything that pertains to black folks. It's just the honest to goodness truth. All right, so we kind of get tangled in the sauce when it comes down to that, but that's the truth. The next thing that I want to talk about is Dave Chappelle and like the canceling of Dave Chappelle. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that a black organization will call for the cancel culture to strike one of the best comedians and one of the best personalities that we have right now. Now, I don't agree with Dave Chappelle is not the GOAT. Richard Pryor is the GOAT. Nobody can, I don't care what Richard Pryor did in his life, anything like that, or what he's, nothing that he said or done can really take that away, because Richard Pryor is the GOAT. I mean, he was making, by the time he was dead or whatever, but about to die, he was making blockbuster movies. He was appearing in, he was A-list. He was an A-list dude. And there haven't been too many comedians, period, that have been like A-list dudes like Richard Pryor. So Richard Pryor still gets the whole GOAT thing, and I'm happy for that. Now the real bad part about this whole thing is that and I really want to address this towards the cancel culture. The cancel culture is stupid. Cancel culture is stupid. We have the First Amendment. We have the First Amendment of the United States of America. It seems to me like nobody really wanted the United States of America to be the United States of America, at least not with the rights and privileges that they suspect that we have. And I use the word suspect. I use that word because it is a suspect. The First Amendment is being shredded by cancel culture. And you should be allowed to say what you want. And the thing that really gets me is the fact that y'all allow people to say things about black people. I have seen more stuff about black people, and I know they're just now starting to get to they won't allow that either. But the N-word flies around like nothing. The N-word is like, there is no integrity when it comes to the N-word. The N-word just floats out there like nothing, and anything else that has to do with black folks. But there's no cancel culture towards that. And if there's going to be a cancel culture, then there needs to be cancel culture towards everything. And then who decides what's politically correct and what's not? And comedians, comedians should be off the radar for that. They're comedians. That's what they get. Comedy is based on tragedy. I remember when I was in college and I was taking I was a mass media major in undergrad, and when I was taking mass media, and the one thing that we always talked about was how comedy is based on tragedy. There has to be something tragic there in order for it to end up being funny at some point. In fact, your mind has to traverse the whole situation and what's going on. Like a man slips on a banana peel, falls down and busts his behind, right? He trips on the banana peel, falls down and busts his behind. To him, it ain't funny because he fell down and busted his behind. But to everybody else that's standing around him that didn't get hurt, guess what? They think it's funny. And that's how comedy is. That's just the nature of comedy. And it's not going to ever change. That's always. So who is capable or eligible to be the brunt of jokes and who is not? I guess that's what the whole question has to be. Has to be who's eligible to be laughed at, and then who's eligible not to be laughed at. Especially when people, and that's it's part of the human condition. It is part of the human condition. You cannot be human unless you make mistakes or everybody slips on the banana peel. There's nobody that's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Everybody slips on the banana peel sometime. My kids, I got 7 kids. They all stand around waiting for dad to slip on the banana peel, right? They all wait for dad to make a mistake. And that's just the nature of the beast. And when you make the mistake, you shake it off, you get up and you move on. But there's no need to cancel the person that laughed at you because you slipped on the banana peel. Or that brought light to the fact that you slipped on the banana peel. And the same thing is true with whatever communities exist out there. The worst thing that we can do is start to say that everybody's got phobia. That it's a phobia. Oh, he doesn't like gay people. He's homophobic. Anything could be far enough from the truth. And for most people, it's far from the truth. Nobody's afraid of anybody. It's just that some of the things that they do are funny, and some of the things that we do are funny. You think that there's not a homosexual person that doesn't talk about straight people? And I would love to find it, they need to put those comedians on because I think that would probably be the funniest shit ever. Really tell you the truth. And I'll probably be canceled for saying that. But still, nobody is afraid of anybody. Nobody is mad at anybody, or nobody is trying to call out anybody. It's comedy, y'all. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be part of the thing that helps us to enjoy life and to pass the days by, that we have while we're dwelling on this earth. But we can't do that if everybody. I remember I used to be I used to be on the radio, and I used to work at KDKO in Denver, and I was working at KDKO, and so people used to call in, and we used to, it's common in radio. You pull pranks on your listeners, or pranks on different people and stuff like that. So one of the pranks that we used to do is people used to call in, and we would just start going in on them and start talking about them, right? And so I never really thought about it. It was just something we did. It was like one of the gags that we did in the morning. Sort of like I think Steve Harvey does a strawberry letter or whatever, and there's a couple other ones. Where people call in. Now they got the one where they pretend to be your boss or this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, and one of the ones I used to do always was I used to be the director of the center, the community center in Nome, Alaska, right? And then I used to call in as the director of the community center in Nome, Alaska, and get real mad at a certain person because they signed up for basketball, and I would accuse them of signing up for basketball and not showing up, and just letting them know that, hey, we're in Nome, Alaska. We don't get a lot of people signing up. We're angry that you signed up and that you didn't show up, and then the person would sit up there and they would go, oh, no, I didn't sign up for, and then it's like, so is your name? And we'd have all their pertinent private information and stuff, and we would go in on them. So anyway, we did that one day, and this guy calls in, and he says, why don't you guys, when I call in, why don't you ever say anything about me? And we knew that this guy, we knew that he was handicapped, and so that's why we never said anything. And we knew that he was a quadriplegic. He could talk and everything, and he had certain where he said, but we never said anything because we felt like that would be inappropriate. And what came out of his mouth next shocked me, forever. He said, just treat me like I'm anybody else. That's all I want. Treat me like I'm human. That's what he said. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but and he said, if y'all love me, then y'all treat me like everybody else. So you don't really know. And the same thing was true with what Dave Chappelle said. The person that ended up loving him the most, or that he got to know the most, was a person that was transgender. And that the people that were transgender treated them worse than people that weren't transgender. So you never know. You never know how a person is feeling, what they're feeling, or anything. And the human condition is such that we should treat everybody good. And just because it's a joke, or you make a joke or whatever, doesn't mean that you don't love people. Look, I've sat in the room with my fraternity brothers many a day, and I had a friend, I won't say his name, but we used to ride the bus from Northwest Detroit all the way downtown to Cass Technical High School, and the whole ride we would talk about each other's mama. So don't get hung up on this cancel culture, especially when it comes to comedy. especially when it comes to comedy. Anyway, Fast 15 Minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Oh yeah, we got a new television channel on Roku, and it's called Capri, Kheprii, Kheprii, Capri. We got music videos running right now. We're gonna do more stuff, but we got music videos running right now. We love you.